After 7 months of ferocious battles, high drama and some fantastic skill, we're at the business end of the Betfred Super League. It's playoff time. There's 5 teams remaining, but only one can lift the trophy at Old Trafford in October.
Truman gets it away to Aston. Aston then finds Matautia, pace from Matautia, and here is Minikin. He's got that ball down. Ben Jones-Bishop wants it kicked wide. It's coming that way. He's called for this. Ben Jones-Bishop's called for this. Ben's come back. It's a try for Arona. Taking the line on his punch, his nose through as well as Lomax. He's got Regan Grace. Regan Grace will score in the corner for St Helens. Regan Grace for the corner. It's a hat-trick for Regan Grace of St Helens.
Put that kick. Play on the ball. They play on with Thompson, and Thompson going for the line. Luke Thompson with the try.
There we go, shot. Jake Mamo's getting the ball.
Mamo from the restart. Jake Mamo has turned this game around. Here is Wormsley. Wormsley for the line, and Wormsley settles this one. Williamsley, Hardaker over the top, and Devon French will get his first try. There could be more points on here because Williams has made the break, and French could have a second. Oh no, he won't. Williams will have his first. Lollahea lobs the kick up into the air, and Lynham has lost it. Lynham's lost it. Sio's got it. Goodwin to Lynham. Lynham little chip kick ahead, and Sio is in a foot race and heading for a hat-trick. Ken Sio is going to get 3. 2 last time out, 3 this week. Ken Sio for the Salford Red Devils.
Some key matches from this season, and we've got 2 key matches this week, of course. Tomorrow night it's the elimination game, Warrington versus Castleford. And then we've got the qualifier on Friday night, Wigan versus Salford. 2 cracking games. St Helens do not play till next week, of course, but we're talking about all 5 teams who are in the playoffs. And I'm delighted to welcome to the studio a man who's won the grand final on 4 occasions. It's Paul Sculthorpe, and Castleford and England player Luke Gale. Gents, thanks for joining us. Scully, if I start with you, it's the business end.
It is the business end. You know, it's been an outstanding Super League season, both at top and bottom, going into the final week of the season to determine who makes the playoffs. But as you say, it's the business end now. It pretty much starts again. It's cup rugby from now on.
And Luke, you were training this morning with the Cass lads. Unfortunately, you're not going to be in action tomorrow night, but how are we feeling?
They're feeling good. The boys are buzzing. There's a buzz around training. As Scully mentioned, it's a business end, and look, you want to be involved at this part of the year. It's the best time to be playing, and it all just lifts up a notch. So yeah, I'm expecting fireworks over the next couple of nights.
It's going to be absolutely fascinating. 2 great games this week, as we said. Tomorrow night it's Warrington versus Castleford, and on Friday night it's Wigan versus Salford. Both games are live on Sky. Right, we've obviously had the playoff changes this year. The Supremo, Robert Elston, was all behind his changes as well. And I caught with him this week, and so far he's been delighted with his reign in the Betfred Super League. Robert, some cracking playoffs ahead.
Yeah, no, really looking forward to it. 2 big games this weekend. Saints, of course, with a weekend off. Games this weekend, I think, really unpredictable. Cass can be anything on their day. Warrington need to pick up their form and find their Challenge Cup final form. And then Salford, the surprise package, but they've been to many grounds and upset the odds all season. So Salford will fancy their chances. So 2 really exciting games, and hopefully kick off the playoffs with something really special to take us all the way here, back to here in a few weeks' time.
And we're not going to see Saints this week, of course, but what an achievement, winning a league by 16 points.
Yeah, no, that's terrific, and they have been head and shoulders better than everybody else, and again I think we knew that from several weeks out. And not only are they stacked full of talent in every position, but they're exceptionally well coached, well organised, hard to beat. I saw them on the back of that Challenge Cup final defeat, and if there was a good time, if there had been a good time to play, and maybe it was them, but Cass found them impregnable. You know, they could have played all night, not scored, so they're well drilled, well marshalled, and undoubtedly will go into this playoff as the team to beat.
We're here to launch for playoffs. Is it a thumbs up for the format change?
Yeah, I think so. Listen, how the season's unfolded, I think there's inevitably a fair bit of good fortune in that. No matter what we'd have tried to do in terms of formats, to have 4 teams potentially being relegated on that final night, there's an element undoubtedly a good fortune in that. But I think the playoff series is important, that we tried to build something longer than that simple semi-final format, so we're about to see how that will unfold. As fans know, we tried to stage a great Easter weekend and that delivered. Catalan showed that great enterprise, moving the game to Barcelona, so all in all a really good season, one we should be celebrating.
And finally, a word on London Broncos. They fought very, very hard, but unfortunately they fell short in the end and been relegated.
Yeah, no, London have been a big credit and asset to Super League this season, and nobody really gave them much of a chance, but they went right to the wire. And I saw them at Wakefield, and they did ultimately come up short, but the week before they'd beaten Hull KR and beaten them, I think, pretty convincingly on the night, although it was a tight scoreline. And they showed, that resolve, that resilience, that commitment, that never say die right to the final hooter of the final game, which is a real credit not only to Danny Ward and everything he's achieved, but that squad of players who showed a great togetherness, spirit, resilience, and have graced Super League for sure.
Brilliant, mate. Thank you ever so
cheers,
much.
Matt. Thank you.
Robert Elston speaking to me earlier on this week. Right, obviously we've got the changes to the playoffs, which we're going to be discussing in detail over the next hour. But obviously we've had relegation this year as well. And Scully, what a battle it turned into. And, well, fair play, London Broncos. Have entertained us all season, haven't they?
Yeah, I mean, it was an unbelievable final week, with 4 teams who could have got relegated. I think London, they've done themselves, so proud. I think this year, I know a lot of people tipped at the beginning of the year. I was one of them who said, will they win a game? And they finished with 18 points and some great performances. Danny Ward has obviously proven himself as a great coach. And I'm just glad that they did it as well with majority of the squad that got them there, through the Betfred Championship. And, Robert spoke about the resilience that they showed, and I think they've done themselves proud, and hopefully they can build on that, and we'll see them in Super League in 2021.
They've been a credit to Super League this year, haven't they, Broncos?
They've been outstanding. It's a shame that you have to see them go down. I found myself cheering for them myself in them tight games, and they just always found a way to win. And I played with Wardy down in London. He's such a good character, and he's brought that out on his team as well. So yeah, I'm gutted, but I seen Wardy speak in the press, speaking about jumping straight back up. And look, I hope they do, because they've been a great credit to Super League.
And good luck to the Championship sides this weekend, of course. It's York versus Featherstone, and a semi-final next week will be Toronto versus Toulouse. One of those teams will be replacing London. But let's talk about the playoffs. First of all, it's for top 5. The team that finishes top, which was Saints, of course, Scully, they don't play till next week. But the big advantage in finishing first, second or third is you've got that game in hand, haven't you? You can lose one game and you're not out of the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that's so important, certainly from third to fourth. I know it was obviously a big thing whether Warrington would make the 3. They fell out of that with their recent performances in Super League, and that makes a big difference in Cup rugby. To have that second chance, and certainly when you're against the top 5 best teams in the competition, that second chance comes in handy at times. And
Luke, it must have been nerve-wracking for you lot on Friday night, of course, because obviously, unfortunately, you've lost against Wigan. So if Hull had won, you'd have been out.
Yeah, we wanted to go over there and take it out of anyone else's hands. It was in our hands, but look, we didn't get the job done. Wigan come out with a strong performance, but luckily for us, Saints did a job for us, and Hull was out of the playoffs. So look, we've been given a second chance, and we've got to go take it tomorrow night.
Yeah, we'll talk in detail about your game at Warrington tomorrow night. But do you feel like tomorrow night's a bit of a bonus? Because obviously 3 weeks ago, top 5 didn't look like it was going to happen.
It didn't, no, and that's what we spoke about this week. Look, we're there, we've been given a chance, now we've got to go take that chance. And as you mentioned, Warrington are not playing great themselves, so we've got to go over there full of confidence, really.
Because that performance against Hull, that was like a knockout game for you, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. I thought that we were fantastic that night. We were really good. We showed glimpses of our former selves.
Yeah, Jake Truman was superb, wasn't he?
Truman was outstanding, hat-trick hero, and hopefully he can replicate that tomorrow, because I thought he was outstanding. And the team was outstanding. We've just got to, as we say, recreate that tomorrow.
Right, we're going to talk Saints. We're only on till 7:30. Is that enough time, Scully? Will you be all right, just 7:30 talk?
Should get it all in by now.
Okay, well, they finished top 16-point gap, which is a record as well. And I caught up with the Saints boss. Of course, he's leaving at the end of the season, Justin Holbrook. You won the league with a record 16-point gap. But in many respects, that means nothing now.
Yeah, look, it's still, I agree with you. We're on a level playing field now, being the finals time, but when you do say that, it's a great achievement. I don't want to downplay that. You know, what the staff and players have been able to achieve this year to get a record like that, a winning margin over second spot, and to have that in the history of the game over here is a massive achievement. Yeah, it does. You don't get a trophy for it, but it is something to be proud of, that's for sure, and I am proud of it. I think it's a terrific show of consistency.
Good thing or a bad thing, the week off?
I think it's great. I think when you don't have buys, and we obviously didn't win the Challenge Cup, but we got to the final, so we've played 33 weeks straight. So to get a week off now, mentally more than anything, is fantastic for us, and it's definitely a good thing.
And how's the reaction from the players been since that Challenge Cup defeat?
Yeah, look, terrific. We were hurting on that, obviously, but the beauty about it is we got the Super League to look forward to, and that's what we got now. And we've handled those last 3 games of regular season really well. And not just that, we've got some key guys getting match fitness. We went in the Challenge Cup final with Robes, Big Al, Cootie and Morgan Knowles. Only played 1 game in 5 weeks, so they've played the last 3. And so we're built into this year's final series, and we're ready to go.
And how important is it to have that home game for this semi-final?
I think it's terrific. I think you get 2 rewards. You get a week off and you get a home semi, but that's where the rewards finish. As you said, the 16 points is a raise, but I think this year we played so well at home. We've won all our home games. Last year, I think we lost 4 at home and went into a knockout semi, probably not in a great spot. So here, I think, as I said, we've built the season nicely. We're in a good spot. Everyone's match fit. We've got a week off and we're playing at home, which is a great opportunity. We've got to play well. We know that. If we don't play well, we won't win. But it's a great opportunity, and we'll be ready to go.
And have you dared to look beyond that semi-final?
No, and I think even looking at the semi, we don't know who we're going to play yet. So we'll spend this week just getting ourselves right, and then next week we'll work out whether it's Wigan or Salford, and if we're good enough to win that, well then we get to play here at Old Trafford, don't we? So I'd like to take the shortest route to get here, that's for sure.
And what would it mean if you did do it?
Oh, it's what we all want to do. I'm no more than myself. I want to win the Super League, and but as long as if we can train as hard as we can and prepare as best we can, and if we're good enough, we'll do it. And if not, look, I want to win, of course I do, but I can't control that. And I want to win I want the players to win for themselves. I see how hard they work every week, and the season we had, how consistent we've been, but in the end, we've got to play well when it counts. And if we do, we'll get the trophy and we get the rewards, and if we don't, we won't.
You want to enjoy your last month in Super League, don't you?
Yeah, I will. I want to enjoy it, and I've been enjoying it every week, and then the next month especially, it's finals time, and it's exciting, and if we're good enough to win 2 more games, then we'll have the trophy.
Very, very best of luck.
Cheers, Smart.
Cheers. So Justin Holbrook going back to Australia, hopefully. Well, he hopes to go back, obviously, with a Super League medal. Right, Scully, first of all, how big a blow is the departure of Justin Holbrook?
Well, he's obviously a great coach. He's done a great job at St Helens. Justin's going back to the NRL. I've spoken to him personally, and it's always something that he's wanted to do. The opportunity's come up, and you can't fault him for taking that. But he's such a great bloke. I think that you can see that from the way he is with the players.
The players reacted straight away, didn't they, when he came in?
For me, it's the biggest strength of a good manager, a good coach, is how you interact with your players and get the best out of them. And Justin certainly does that at St Helens.
And obviously, has it helped that there was a lot of speculation that it's out in the open and it's done and who's taken over? Is that a help? Because you don't want speculation addressed.
I think it is. Speculation is no good for anybody. I think now they know what they're doing. Justin, 100% is wanting to leave on a high and with a grand final ring. Why wouldn't he? So nobody questions his commitment to St Helens now for the rest of the year. Knowing what type of bloke he is, that is never in question. So, do this year and then kick on with next year with whatever comes under the new coach.
Right, let's get an unbiased opinion then. How good have Saints been this year?
They've been outstanding. By far and away the best team in the comp for me. The 16 points. It's unprecedented. I think we won it by 10 in 17, 10 or 12, but I thought I was saying that'd never be done again. Well, they've come out 2 years later and absolutely blown it apart. But just on him, he seems a good fella, and what he's done to the Saints team, the young lads as well. The young lads he's brought in, he shows a lot of faith in the younger guys, and look, they've been fantastic. Bit of a blip in the Challenge Cup, and they'll be wanting to right their wrongs. Obviously a week off this week, but they'll take on that semi the week after.
Week off, good thing, bad thing?
I think probably at this time of year, I think it'd be a good thing. I know there was a lot of talk, and I brought it up before the Challenge Cup. I think there was that much, rotation of squads because of how the position they were in Super League. Why would you risk your top end players? Some were in Justin's control. Likes of Lachlan Coote, James Roby, genuine injuries who couldn't play, and I thought that had an impact in going into the Challenge Cup final probably a bit rusty. The big thing for me is the last 2 Super League games against Huddersfield and Hull. They've gone pretty much full strength and they've had 2 top performances. So I think the week off, and I think the lads will be ready to go come either Wigan or Salford.
And the performance against Cass, it was only 4-0, wasn't it?
It was 4-0, but
hell of a defence.
They'd backed up obviously from the week before the Challenge Cup. But it was just like end to end, but no one could break the try line. So I thought that was massive of them. The week off, will it be in favour? I'm not so sure of that as Scully is, and as you say, there were a lot made of the Challenge Cup stuff. Some of that were out of his hands, but I'd almost prefer to be playing week to week.
Because your plan, hopefully, Scully, obviously, is to win next Friday, home advantage. You'll be playing, obviously, either Wigan or Salford. And then you won't play again, get to final, Saturday the 12th of October.
I'm not necessarily saying it's a great thing, and if you had the choice whether you'd have a week off or not, but I just think at this time of the year, to freshen the players up is not a bad thing. Whether you win that second game and then have another following week off before the grand final remains to be seen. Whether you're going into a grand final a bit ring rusty, but I'm sure the preparation for these games there's nothing left unturned.
Because next Friday you don't want to be thinking we have got this consolation game, do you? You want to be thinking, right, this is do or die. Let's win this. Book our place.
You don't want to play extra games at the end of this season. You want to get to the grand final.
You want that ticket straight away.
Yeah, of course you do. And then you can prepare. You can get players sharp. You can do whatever to replicate in training to keep them as match fit as you possibly can. But making the grand final and getting to Old Trafford on the 12th of October is priority.
16 points clear, which is a record. Most points scored, most tries scored. I asked Luke this question. Come on, how good have they been then this season, do you think?
Yeah, they've been outstanding, and for me, by far, the best team in Super League. And it's in their hands that they know if they perform, that they can beat anybody. So the big thing for Saints now, forget the league leaders, forget the 16 points. They've had the prize for that. They've had the plate. It starts again, and it's cup rugby from now on.
It's absolutely massive. So Saints play a week on Friday. Of course, we don't know who they're playing at the moment, but let's get more build-up from the Saints camp. A man hoping to lift the trophy on the 12th of October will be Mark Percival.
So a bit of a rarity for you guys this week. Opportunity to put your feet up and let the other teams fight it out for a week.
Yeah, mate. It's nice to obviously have the week off because I've earned it finishing top. But like I said, we're going to work hard and keep. We're in all week training, so we just want to focus on us and hopefully we can get ready to go for Monday.
How do you keep that intensity up, if you like, for that, for 2 weeks rather than going back to back? Yeah,
that's what we spoke about. We're going to keep working hard and train hard, and hopefully we can just prepare like we've got a big game, and that's the best thing we can do this week. And then obviously we'll know who we're going to be playing next week, and we can work on all video and stuff and all that type of stuff next week and prepare for that game.
Obviously, the League Leader Shield was wrapped up relatively early on in the campaign. How do you make that step up now? Not that you've been playing kind of dead rubbers, but how do you make that step up into finals?
It's totally different. Obviously, what the work that we've done this week, it's the work that we've done all season is going to be. It's been tough, and we've been working hard for each other, and I think that's what we've got to take into next week. I know it's a big game and all the hype around it, but I think we need to go back to what we've been doing well for each other, and that's working hard and and turning up for each other. So hopefully if we can do that, we can give ourselves the best chance.
And does it feel like there's a few demons to exercise after last season and then Challenge Cup as well?
Yeah, last year it was very disappointing, and then the Challenge Cup final, it's the second final I've played in, and I've lost that one. I've already won one, but it's the feeling of winning one. I just want the lads to feel that, because we've worked so hard for it, and obviously we can just put in a good performance and give ourselves a chance to get in the final. I think that's what will be massive for us.
And you're one win away from being back here at Old Trafford on grand final night. Yeah. That must be, when you look at the beginning of the season and you're so close to getting into where you aim to be. Yeah, must be a satisfactory feeling around that in some respects.
Yeah, definitely. That's what we spoke about. It's just, I know I keep saying it, but it's just that working hard for each other, never letting each other down. And I think we wanted to be consistent. I think we've done that all year, and it'll be a shame now to go out next week and not do what we've done. And we owe ourselves that to bring that performance next week.
And the last chance to win one of the big ones with Justin as coach as well.
Yeah, mate. I was saying before, he's a great bloke, and he's done a lot for the club since he's come, and he's done a lot for me and personally. And I hope we can send him off with what he deserves. But like I said, we've got a big performance next week, and then we can obviously look forward to the final. But like I said, we've got to get through like a massive game against either Wigan or Salford, which is going to be hard.
Awesome. Thank you, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thanks very much. Cheers.
Mark Percival, we want you to get involved as well. You can contact us by making a comment on Facebook or Twitter. Do whatever you want. And Lewis is with us. Lewis, have we had any questions so far?
Yeah, thanks, Mark. Do keep sending comments and questions in. Plenty of debate already on social media. I think the big question for everyone, as it always is on playoffs, is do you take the form books in with you, or is it, as Scully says, his handicap is you're playing from scratch? A bit of argument about this. Paul Hilton is saying that Wigan are the form team. Maybe a Wigan fan bringing them in.
I think they are playing very well.
Well, Dave argues that it's Salford who are coming in better, Nick. It's difficult to split those two, and I think Friday night could be one hell of a good game. Lots of debate about the format as well of the playoffs. Obviously, the first year that we've had this new format. Johnny Wright says that the playoffs need another look at, and that he thinks that Saints should go straight through to Old Trafford, having finished top of the league. We've discussed their form. 16 points is obviously a new record, and plenty to be looked at there in terms of how well they'll go. So, plenty of debate, plenty of questions. Do keep them coming in for Scully and Luke. We'll put them to them. It's playoff football, and there's plenty to talk about, Mark.
Top stuff, Lewis. So if you want to contact us, Lewis is keeping an eye on it, because I'm absolutely useless. I can barely work a mobile phone. Maybe if you text me, I could maybe read it out, but that'll be about it. You might want to have an opinion on the contenders for the Steve Prescott MBE Man of Steel Award. The Betfred Super League have announced the 5 contenders. It's Blake Austin from Warrington, Lachlan Coote from St Helens, Jackson Hastings from the Salford Reds, Liam Watts from Castleford, and George Williams from the Wigan Warriors. And of course, the Man of Steel, Scully's won it twice before. Luke won it a couple of years ago. Will be crowned at the Lowry Theatre on October the 6th, and tickets are available if you want to go. Right, I'll ask about the Man of Steel in a moment. The question about the playoffs is always going to come up. I think we probably need to wait until the day after Old Trafford final before we start talking about whether the playoffs have worked or not. Yeah,
I think the way that the playoffs have finished throughout the regular season and the format that we've been given, I think has obviously worked well. It kept the competition interesting right up till the final week of the year. The thing is, every team knew before a ball was kicked what the format was. So if you're going to finish in the top 5, or you're going to finish first by 16 points, you've still got to win 2 do-or-die games to make Old Trafford.
And let's be honest, we're looking forward to 2 cracking games this week, aren't we?
Well, that's it. Every game now is going to be exciting straight into to that game, the finale at Old Trafford. So, the formats do change. I think this is a far better format than the 8s last year, because I think 8th place, if you win 3 games, you can win the grand final. That shouldn't be right. You can finish 8th and lose more games than you win.
Let's just talk about the Man of Steel. You won it 2 years ago, Luke. Obviously, a great moment in your career.
Massive moment. Very proud moment of my career. Probably the greatest accolade, individual accolade in rugby league, and it's a great night as well. So it was great to be a part of, great to win it, and 5 strong contenders there. But I'd say Jackson Hastings would be a short price to win that.
Yeah, Jackson Hastings has been superb for Salford, and obviously going to Wigan.
Yes, fantastic signing for Wigan. He's he's run the show, hasn't he, for Salford this year. Not only on the field, I think off the field, his impacts in the community and getting people interested in the Salford, Red Devils, I think he's been outstanding. Great player on the field though as well. Somebody who really takes on the attacking game, and he can beat you with the ball, he can beat you with a kick, he can beat you with a run. So yeah, outstanding player.
And Lachlan Coote been nominated.
Yeah, Lachlan's been outstanding. We knew what sort of player Lachlan was before he come over, and he's been a great signing. One person I've got to mention, I think it's probably not done him any favours being in that dominant Saints side. That the way the Man of Steel's voted for this year, of a 3-2-1 in a Saints team where there's a lot of good performers. But for me, Johnny Lomax would be in the mix because, and I called it a few weeks ago. I thought he was the best player in Super League, and to not be in the five, it's voted on by individuals on their view on individual games. So it is what it is. But Lachlan Coote's been outstanding.
And also, Liam Watts very well.
Yeah, good to get a Cass lad in there. He's been massive for us this season. He's carried the team. He's carried the forwards. So yeah, great to get a Cass lad.
I think it's great to get a prop in as well. They don't
prop
always get the credit do they, from the Glory boys.
He likes to think he's a stand-off though, does Watson, doesn't he? He doesn't play like a normal prop, but no, he's been great. And just what Scully mentions there on Johnny Lomax, I do think he's been hard done to. We spoke off air about it, and he's probably been. When I look at St Helens, he's been as good a performer throughout the whole year, and I think he's consistently playing at that 8 out of 10 level. I think you kind of get a bit overlooked because he's that good every week.
Yeah.
He brings his A game every week, and I think he's
I think it's been spoke about. I know obviously with the Saints hat on, James Roby. I know Robes was in contention. He's had injuries and what have you throughout the year, but that was the same.
Ever,
with James Roby, with Paul Wellens, you get nothing less than an 8 out of 10 every week, and people get used to seeing it.
Well, come on, your opinion. We want it, and the awards at the Lowry at Salford Quays on October the 6th. You can get tickets via your club. Right. Let's just finish about the Saints then, Scully. They've actually been up Mount Snowdon today of the squad, so how are we going to finish the summit on Old Trafford on Saturday the 12th then?
Yeah, I think they will. I think they are the best team in Super League at the moment, but they've got to perform on 2 or 3 big occasions now.
I'm going to go for, well, not an upset, but I think Wigan are going to win the other semi. And I think Wigan will just edge them in that semi. I think it'll be a real tough game, and I think Wigan are just peaking at that right time. So
and then it could meet.
I think Wigan are somebody that we've spoke about. You never ever write Wigan Warriors off, and they had a tough start to the year. I think there was a number of factors probably about the obviously the head coach, and then is George Williams going to Australia or not? And I think as soon as them two were sold, I think we see a different Wigan Warriors, and they were always going to be in the mix come the end of the year. So.
Well, it's like this show is planned because obviously they are the current champions of Wigan. Let's just remind ourselves how they won it last year.
With Stranger in Paradise, the average house price was just over £2,000. The average weekly wage £7. A pint of beer was, and this is to within 4 metres of the Wigan line. Darryl Clark is there. Back it comes now to Brown. Brown will find Roberts. Roberts to Radford. Wide they go. Charlie! Just Charlie for Warrington. Here is Luluai. Gets it away to Gildart. Gildart gets it to Manfredi. And the fairy tale continues for Dominic Manfredi.
The amount of times they're giving the ball to Joe Greenwood on Tyrone Roberts. Big plan for Wigan.
Tompkins, Luluai, Gildart. Back into centre field it goes to Powell. Powell then says to Williams, have another go. Williams slides the kick in behind the defence. Tom Davis! I don't know whether he gets this down. I'm not 100% convinced. He is. Sutton plays it to Powell. O'Loughlin switches the direction of the attack to Luluai. Luluai will give it to Tompkins. Wide they go. Manfredi! Dominic Manfredi wins the grand final for Wigan. Wins the dream fairy tale ending for Sean Wayne. in the spotlight. And once again, the 2018 Betfred Super League champions are the Wigan Warriors.
Well, Sean O'Loughlin is back as well after injury, but of course there's a new man in charge for Wigan now. He knows all about the club. He's going to be there next season as well. Let's hear from the coach, Adrian Lamb. Adrian, you must be absolutely delighted to finish second in the end.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, but we finally got there, and really pleased for the group. They've worked pretty hard, and with all the challenges during the year and injuries and the way that they've hung in there together and got through, probably the most important part, and now in a good position to give ourselves a chance to take the next step.
Won 11 of the last 12.
Yeah. It's a bit of a weird one because about a third of the way through the season I made a decision not to look at the table because we weren't sitting too good and all it was doing was stressing me out. So I thought, right, from now on in I'm not going to do it. So about 4 weeks ago someone mentioned that we're a chance of finishing second. I was like, really? So, as I said, the group's worked really hard. There's a lot of confidence in the team at the moment, and we've got a home semi against Sculthorpe, which will be really tough, but looking forward to it.
Did you imagine finish second at all? I mean, the start was, one win in 7, wasn't it?
Yeah, I guess the goal was to make the semi-finals, considering the players that we lost at the end of last year. And when you win Super League here, obviously you go in the next year as one of the favourites. But when you lose Bateman and Tompkins and Sutton, and then Liam Farrell going in round 2 of the season for half the year, it was a pretty difficult challenge, to be fair. And then we had a lot of injuries, and even last week we still had 10 players that couldn't be selected. So, I'm really proud of how they've turned the season around. Really proud of our youth that have come through our academy, and they've certainly made a difference to the whole group together. And starting to get some injured players back now at the right time of the season. So things are looking positive.
Finishing second, you're at home. You get that extra life as well. Are you even thinking about that extra life?
Not really. It's just business as usual, to be honest. And just challenging the group to step up another gear, go to the next level. And the great thing about Wigan is that we've got some experienced players in there that have done it a lot of times. And there's, as I mentioned earlier, there is some youth coming through there, but to be surrounded by the experience is handy. And hopefully they learn as much as they possibly can over the next month.
So what will you say to them before Friday night? Just go and do it?
Yeah, look, I think our standards that we've set in our grand final actions that we requested, and I think that the team's focused about what we're in control of. We've earned that right for the home ground advantage, but it's not a given. So we just need to make sure that we have the right attitude against a confident Salford team that are going to come here, won 8 of their last 8 matches. So they're doing some things great there. So it's going to be a pretty tough challenge, but looking forward to it.
I know obviously you only want to look ahead to Friday night, but if you were to do it and get to the grand final, what would that mean after the roller coaster of a season you've had?
Yeah, it'd be pretty special for the whole group. It's something that Wigan haven't done in Super League history. Has gone back to back in the NRL in Australia. I think it's 25 years that they haven't gone back to back. So it's a hard thing to do. History will show that you won't get too many opportunities like this. So we've got a lot of work still to do. Start of the year, there was a lot of people talking about this being a transition year for the players, and I remember saying in an interview that, how do you tell the Thomas Lillawais and the Sean O'Loughlin's that could be their last year that this is a transition year. So, I feel that Sean played last week, which is great. Back in the team, Ben Flower back in the team. So, we're in good shape leading into these finals.
Well, the best of luck for the playoffs.
Thank you very much.
Well, a season started very, very poorly for Wigan. Just 1 win in 7. They've managed to finish second. Won 11 of the last 12. Right, Adrian said he didn't look at the league table for 3 months. It's a brilliant achievement to finish second after the start they had.
It is, especially as you mentioned the start. I remember commentating on a game. I think they played Leeds early on in the year, and they wasn't great, if they're honest, to scrap the win out. And they look clunky in attack, but as you say, they've timed it right. And Wigan always seem to come right at this part of the year, and they're just, as I say, the form team at the minute. I think they the form in the Super League's been unbelievable. I think 11 of the last 12 games, something like that. So yeah, they definitely timed it to perfection.
Are you worried about your rivals coming good at the right time?
Wigan were always going to be a worry. You know, I think towards the back end of the year as well, you know, and it's no surprise that Wigan have always come good at the back end when, you know, maybe when the weather changes as well. One thing you know that you're always going to get with the Wigan side is aggressive defence. You know, they're going to get up in your face, and you've got to find a way of combating that, and I'm sure this will be no different. I think probably it's a bit of a difference to the start of the year was Adrian come in and they said, there was going to be a lot more expansive rugby from Wigan. You know, they were going to play with a lot more flair. I don't think you can just turn off what Sean Wayne has instilled in there over the years, and you know, very structured but very aggressive, very you know, they always play tough, and I think you can't just go into, you know, wanting to be the Ireland Globetrotters, and I think they probably lost the way for a while.
And how big a boost is Sean O'Loughlin coming back? Yeah,
Lockers is massive for them, and I wouldn't say it's as much as what he does, you know, on the field now, you know, with the ball, you know, whatever minutes he plays, but it's just his presence around them players as well. Still very, very skillful, you know, for a big man, and probably has changed the way he's played over the last few years. You know, I remember him coming off the bench in the grand final and packing down in the front row. Just having him out there and leading the way and calling the shots.
And one of your former teammates has had a great season, Zach Hardacre.
He's been outstanding. He's just coming into form at the right time. Come back a bit rusty as to be expected, but as I say, probably got match fit over time, and he's playing well. And as he mentioned about Lockers, being with the England boys and the Wigan lads, he has a massive presence on the Wigan players, and just having him at the side here on that pitch, especially for the young lads, have got the likes of Oliver Partington, Morgan Smithies. To have Lockers at the side here must be a massive presence.
He can whack on defence as well. You know, he's a very, very skilled player who's got great vision, but he also leads the way with his defence.
You'd want him going to Orwell, wouldn't you? Definitely.
Well, Wigan are in action on Friday night, and well, they've surprised plenty of people this season. It's Salford. Let's hear from their coach, Ian Watson. Congratulations, Ian, on what a great season so far.
Yeah, no, the boys have kind of really bought into everything we spoke about in the pre-season. We spoke about our early doors wanted to really build some solid foundations for us to progress even further this season and make a little bit of a name for ourselves, because everybody had kind of ruled us out and said that we'd be kind of cannon fodder and that we'd be struggling to compete with London to stay in the league as well. So I think we've proved a few people wrong throughout the season as well, but it's down to kind of the work ethic of the team and the backroom team.
You've just said that you've surprised a lot of people, but listening to you, you've not surprised yourself, have you?
No, we knew what players we were signing. We knew where we needed to strengthen on the back of the year before, where we had to kind of have a little bit of a rebuild. It was important we kind of got our spine sorted out. We managed to do that at the back end of the year before. And going into this year, we had a full pre-season with them to kind of nail down like our systems. And again, early in the season, it was about building them foundations, and all the players bought into the systems of how we wanted to play and what strengths we had, and we've kind of moulded the team around the strengths of the players.
It's obviously a team game, but how good has Jackson Hastings been?
Yeah, he's been great since he come across. There's obviously a lot of parts to a team game like rugby league, I said, but Joey coming across, Jackson coming across, they give us a real kind of energy and a new lease of life, and kind of they've bred that throughout the season, and Jacko's been first class at that. He just plays on excitement and energy. He just loves playing rugby league. He's like a young kid when you go out there. He doesn't worry about anything else. He just wants to do his best and he wants to win.
You've obviously got this extra life with finishing third. Have you been thinking about that, or are you just thinking about Friday's game?
No, as far as we're concerned, Wigan's going to be the last game we're ever going to play at this moment. That's the way we're focusing on it as well. So we make sure we go into the right mentality. Wigan are a tough team. We know they're a team that have been used to competing for trophies. So we've got to go there and match their enthusiasm. They're playing with energy as well this season now, with all the young lads coming in as well and bashing a few of the big guys about as well. So it's going to be up to us to make sure we match them.
You've surprised everyone by finishing third. Can you surprise everyone and land the ultimate prize?
Oh, well, like I said, we'll take one game at a time, see where that takes us, but we're really confident as a group that if we do our job, we'll upset a few. Brilliant. Cheers,
Brilliant,
thank
mate.
you.
Good luck.
Cheers, thanks very much.
Ian Watson is one of the contenders for Coach of the Year. Scully, Salford really have surprised people this season, haven't they?
They have. I think they've been outstanding. The great story of Super League this year, and to see them, fight all the way. I think they were confirmed in the top 5, but to fight the way to third and get that second crack was outstanding. And they're going into. it's not going to be all Wigan's way on Friday by a long way. I think Salford, I think is it 7 games on the spin in Super League.
Been poor against Wigan this year. Have lost all 3 against Wigan this time.
I think that confidence that they've built over this last 7 weeks will go into them. And again, it's a completely different game now. I think Salford will fancy themselves.
Got to give a big pat on the back to what Ian Watson's done.
He must be a great coach. I don't know him personally. I've only spoken to him a couple of times, but what he's done with that team is fantastic. He's got the likes of Jackson Hastings playing that way, and I think not only Jackson. I think he obviously gets all the accolades, being the best player. But what the other players, likes of Niall Evans, the hooker Lussick's been fantastic as well. So I think Jackson's helped bring everyone else and have them the best seasons of their careers.
I grew up with Ian Watson, playing against him from a very young age, and he was always an outstanding player, very, very knowledgeable, smart, could control the team, great kicking game, and he's obviously passing that on in his coaching skills now. And they always say, he's very, very, he lives and breathes rugby league, but knowing what a great bloke he is as well. We spoke before about Justin Hall, but that man management of them players.
He's been under massive financial pressure as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably the smallest squad in Super League with probably one of the smallest finances. And to do what he's done, and Luke mentioned the likes of Niall Evans, Josh Jones, players who he's brought to another level this year.
Let's bring in Lewis. Lewis, I know plenty of people on Facebook or Twitter are saying that Jackson Hastings should get the Steve Prescott Man of Steel award.
Yeah, a lot of love for Jackson Hastings, perhaps unsurprisingly, a lot of it from Salford fans. Simon says that if Hastings doesn't win Man of Steel, then it's a con. Steve as well also saying that Hastings should be a shoo-in for Man of Steel, and it should be a lot of fun this game. More than anything, Salford are just a fun team to watch play. They throw the ball around, and Hastings has been a big part of that. A few Wigan fans getting involved as well. Chris Holden says that really all these playoffs are pointless because we're going to win the grand final. So
it's easy as that.
I think we can get to easy with that one. A few other interesting points that have come in as well. It might be a good one for these guys to discuss, having been in that situation. Do you think Warrington's form in the cup, their knockout form, gives them an advantage? Because when they have had to do it in knockout games this year, that they have done.
Well, I think Warrington's form in the Super League has been poor, hasn't it?
I've seen a quote today from Josh Charnley saying that it's cup rugby now, and we love knockout rugby. Whether they mean that or whether they're trying to convince themselves that they can turn around this Super League form that they're in at the moment. Obviously, they were a different team at Wembley from previous form. Remains to be seen.
Yeah, I'm of the opinion of it took them that many chances to actually win the Challenge Cup. Maybe the occasion, the emotion. I think maybe are they happy with that? I don't know. I'm tossing it out there.
But desperate to win the Super League as well.
Yeah,
it's chances.
An hood on their back. It's always Warrington's year. And there's a bit of pressure, I think, each year. It's a bit of a golden
and I think that
joke.
pressure is coming from within now as well. Again, you see quotes from Joe Philbin and saying we want this monkey off our back. It's something they've never done to lift the Super League title. And again, they'll be disappointed with the run that they've had in Super League to finish fourth. From being second all year to finish fourth.
Well, they nailed on second, didn't they?
Yeah,
July.
and not get that second chance.
Well, let's just move away from the Betfred Super League and turn attention to the women's Betfred Super League as well. Well done to Castleford, who last night won the League Leaders' Shield. But let's hear from Saints in England, Jodie Cunningham, on the Betfred Women's Super League.
It's crazy because when you're a young girl and you're watching Rugby League and you're watching Warrington, Wigan, St Helens, Leeds, big clubs that you love and you adore and you have your heroes, all your heroes are men's players. And you can never go and be the next Kevin Sinfield. You can never go and be the next Sam Burgess, whoever it might be. And you couldn't represent Saints or Wigan or Leeds. You could go and play for a women's amateur side, but that affinity to the club's not quite the same. Whereas now, young girls who are in the stands can come and watch quality. Emily Rudge, absolutely fantastic player for us, has had a brilliant season at St Helens, England captain. They can come down and watch Emily and know that they can be the next Emily Rudge. They can play for St Helens and wear that badge and play at the Totally Wicked Stadium just like all their heroes do that they've been watching for years, and that's a huge draw to keep girls in the game.
Yeah, we're very, very proud to sponsor the Women's Betfred Super League, and the finals are going to be at St Helens the night before the grand final, and it's going to be live on Sky as well, which is great news. And Cass last night won the league.
Yeah, fantastic. They've been amazing all year, the Cass women. We've been down and watched a couple of games. A few of the guys were there last night, and yeah, credit to them. The women's great game keeps evolving, and I actually did a bit of a coaching session with them about 6 weeks ago, and I was amazed with we did some kicking. Amazed at the skill level that they've got. They are very talented women, and yeah, as I say, the game keeps growing, and well done to Castleford on the win, thoroughly deserved.
And we just heard from Jodie there at Scully. He said girls can dream now, growing up, wearing a Saints shirt.
That's it. It's you know, women's sport has gone through the roof in the last few years, and rightly so. And you know, for Super League to be part of that, you know, Jodie has been outstanding for that, for Saints, for England, and obviously she's one of the ambassadors for the Rugby League World Cup as well. So, and I think, like Gale said, the standard of the game. You know, I'm fortunate to get to see that with some of the England stuff and the England women's side and the Origin games. You know, some real quality rugby.
Right, we've spoken about Friday night, which is Wigan versus Salford, and don't discount Salford. They'll definitely give Wigan a game. Whoever wins that goes to the semi-final next Friday night, and they'll play St Helens. But we've got the eliminator tomorrow night. One of these teams definitely out of the playoffs, and it's Warrington versus Castleford. Let's hear from the Warrington coach, Steve Price. 29 regular games, it's now the playoffs. Are you ready?
We're all ready, mate. Yeah, this is what you work extremely hard for, to play these knockout games, and they're playing good, but put themselves in this position to rise to the challenge, and it's a challenge we're really excited for on Thursday. It's going to be a tough game, against a quality team in Castleford, and on the flip side, it's at Halliwell Janes. So we've had some really good clashes with Cass over the years at home, and we're going to have to draw from that experience, and all supporters to get behind the boys come Thursday.
How important is home advantage?
Yeah, I think it is quite important. It does play a big factor, but we're going to have to draw from all our experience within our squad. We've got a number of players who have played on the big stage in final series for the country, and we're going to have to draw from that.
And how important is the experience you had last year of getting to the final and winning the Challenge Cup this year?
Yeah, I like to think can play a small part. Whether it plays a big part or not, I'm not quite sure. Everyone uses different type of motivation, don't they, to succeed. And we've got a number of players who didn't play in the grand final last year, and there's a lot of players who still got that burning desire to go one better. So there's still a lot of hard work to do. We're not looking big picture. It's more about the 80-minute performance come Thursday.
But you feel you're ready for knockout football now?
Yeah, we are. We're battle hardened. We've played some really tough games over the last 8 weeks. Played a lot of the top 4 teams a number of times, and we're in physical and mentally in strong position. We haven't got too many injuries, so yeah, we can't wait for it.
Well, the very, very best of luck on Thursday night.
Thank you. Cheers.
Steve Price there. Right, Scully, I don't want to upset you, but if I was Steve Price, I'd be reminding him of that semi-final at Saints last year.
Yes, obviously that was a big win against the form as well. But I think all the pressure is on Warrington. I think Castleford, a lot of people didn't expect them to make the top 5. The way Hull were going earlier in the year, and I think the pressure is on Warrington. As I said, they only have that one opportunity, and they need to turn that Super League form around. And 1
win in 8 in the Super League.
Yeah, it's and it's not good enough for a team like Warrington, a club like Warrington, who spend the money like Warrington.
We're going to hear from Chris Hill in a moment from the Warrington camp, but from a Castleford point of view, is tomorrow night a bonus?
Yeah, definitely. That's where we're seeing it. It's a bit of a free shot, and as Scully mentioned, there's no pressure on us. We can go out there, play our game. I think all the pressure's on them. So we're going out there. We're going to enjoy it. And look, no better time really to play Warrington. Terrible form at the minute. So we can go over there, bring our game, and get us into a semi.
Well, let's get more build-up from the Warrington camp, and obviously seen it, done it in Warrington, but not won the grand final. Of course, it's Chris Hill.
Chris, how much is this an opportunity to put last year right?
Yeah, it is. I say that every year. Don't seem like we are anyway, but no, we just want to. We've probably been disappointed since Challenge Cup. Too much of a probably Challenge Cup hangover, and want to get rid of that. Disappointing. We had a good result against Wakefield and disappointing at Leeds last week, so we're just taking it a week at a time. We finished where we are for a reason, and it's all in our hands now. It's knockout football. If you look at our form in knockout football, it's good, but going into a playoff system, form's out the window, and now we'll be ready to go Thursday.
Obviously, you're going into this with one life instead of two, having finished fourth, but in a sort of weird reverse way, is that almost a good thing that you are in knockout mode now? And
well, yeah, like you say, if you look at our record, a bit of pressure for us, it does us wonders. Like I say, maybe not having that in the back of your head, you've got a second life. Is it good? Especially if you lose one in playoffs and then you get in a bit of a rot, and obviously you've only got another life then. So no, we want to finish second or third. There's no mistake in that. I'm not saying we want to go and finish fourth, but it is what it is. We'll finish fourth, and we've just got to go and win it from there. But like I said, we'll take every week as it comes.
Can you draw on that Challenge Cup final win and that cup campaign, or do you have to treat them as two separate games?
Yes, it's two separate. Obviously, you can draw confidence from it. We're massive underdogs, but that's gone. That Challenge Cup's gone. We'll look back at that end of the year with hopefully a grand final as well. So we know we can do it under pressure. We've proved that. We've just got to buy into that.
And in terms of the squad, I mean, regardless of anything else, you've got match winners in there. That must give you some confidence. That
we've got match winners all over the park. Of course, we've just got to cut errors out. We got Leeds Friday, I think 16, 17 errors. You're not going to be in any game doing that, and individual errors. And so, yeah, we had a few choice words after the game Friday, and everything was positive against Saturday, and we're ready to go, and we've had a good training session today. So, no.
Obviously, big game Thursday night. Where do you hurt Cass, and where do you have to be wary that they might hurt you?
I think they've got strike all over the park. I think they were pretty impressive against Wigan first 40. I thought they were really good. So we've just got to be wary, but we just want to concentrate on ourselves. I think if we do our job right and what we should be doing as an individual, we'll be thereabouts.
How much big advantage is having a home game up first?
Yeah, it is. A bit more pressure on us. We're at home. People probably expecting us to win, but Cass are a good side. They've been up and down like us, but on their day they can turn it on. So no, we've got to be really wary of that. Like I said, we just concentrate on what we do well as an individual, and bring your A game, and we'll be all right.
Awesome. Cheers, mate.
No problem at all. Cheers, Bob.
Chris Hill there. Scully, how important is he? Because, unfortunately, they've not done it yet in his grand finals, but he's obviously got the experience, he's got the disappointment. How important are characters like him in that dressing room for Warrington?
Massive, I think, to get over to Warrington, what it means. And Hill is, he's been there, done it, international level as well, and he'll be certainly one who wants to lead it, a captain who leads the way with his own performance. So he'll be trying to inspire his players the best way he can with his performance on the field.
And Blake Austin's back, which is obviously a big boost.
Yeah, it's obviously a massive boost for Warrington, and I don't think it's any surprise with some of the form that they've had over the past couple of months. He's been missing for a lot of it. Obviously, a lot of the talk and the build-up to the start of this Super League was about what Blake Austin's going to do, and I don't think he disappointed. But I think their performances certainly did when he was out.
Right, come on then, let's talk Cass then. What's it been like this week?
I'll have to take my Cass off hot water. I've borrowed Scully's Saints one. It's been great. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a different feel about the place once you're in that playoff football, and the boys are raring to go. As we mentioned earlier, we've been drawing a bit of luck. We're in there, and we're gonna try go all the way. As I say, the boys are ready, and hopefully we can rock up, and I think we need to. I think we were disappointed against Wigan last week.
Yeah,
especially with the ball.
A week before, superb against Hull. That's what And you started well against Hull,
That's
didn't
what
you?
I was just going to say. I think Cass need to start well. I think they need to get right out the blocks and give themselves that boost straight from the off and grow in confidence as the game goes along.
That's exactly what we spoke about. The start's massive, and I think, as we mentioned with Warrington, they're going to be wanting to start well as well. So I think the first 20 minutes of this game is going to be massively important. And just a little battle that I think could possibly win game. I think Paul McShane against Daz Clark. I think for us to win this game, I think Macca has to have a great game. And Daz Clark obviously were instrumental in their winning the Challenge Cup as well. So I think that could be the key battle tomorrow night and the battle that could take it either way.
I mean, Jake Truman got the headlines against Hull. He was superb. I thought Paul McShane played very well that night.
Macca is like a coach on the field, and obviously I've been missing, so he takes on a bit more responsibility, does Macca, and True he's a 20-year-old lad, so obviously he takes a bit of pressure off True, and he's been good all year, but this game I reckon he needs a kind of man of the match performance to get us over the line.
Does your boss know you're here tonight, by the way?
I've not actually said, no.
Okay, well, Darryl Powell, you're watching, we're about to hear from you now. Here's Darryl Powell talking to me earlier this week. Darryl, after the season you've had, do you regard being in the playoffs as a bonus?
No, I think it was always obviously a target. I'd like to have been a little bit higher up the table, but been a little bit too inconsistent for that to happen. But yeah, being in there is a great opportunity for us. Certainly a tough challenge. But as a bonus, no, it was a target for us, and Hull dropping away towards the back end, just giving us the opportunity to be in there.
A couple of games recently, St Helens, it was only 4-0, wasn't it? And then you put up a great performance to beat Hull.
Yeah, two really good performances from us. I think the Saints away, they came out of the Challenge Cup final, and I think it would have been better for us if they'd have won it, because you end up celebrating a fair bit more than if you've lost it. And of course they lost it, and then came with a lot of motivation against us. And for us, we were in the shooting match pretty much all the way through. We just couldn't quite execute well enough to score points. To bounce back like we did against Hull in a pretty much a one-off game. I mean, if we lose that game, we're out of it. So we showed a fair bit there in terms of handling pressure, and that gave us the platform to be able to get in the 5. So it was a key game, that one.
Do you think that might help going into Thursday night? You've already had one knockout game, haven't you?
Yeah. So it's given us a bit of a look at it, handling the pressure of it. Obviously, last week we were in the game until just after half time. Thought we should have probably been in front at half time. We missed a couple of goal kicks, and then they had a purple patch just after half time that sort of took the game away from us. But we feel confident that we're defending well for the main part. We've got to be able to do it for 80 minutes against the better teams. And if we can improve our execution in attacking positions, then who knows? We'll have a shot at it and see where it takes us.
What will you say to the lads ahead of Thursday night then?
Well, go and enjoy it. Go and play with intent and confidence, and believe that you can do something special. I think that's been the message for a few weeks now. Is that if you get in the 5, then you've got a chance. And we've got in the 5, and we're giving ourselves a chance. It's a real tough one, because you've got to win games away from home 3 weeks straight to get in the grand final, and those games are against the better teams. They're in Lancashire, so we get used to travelling over the next period. We've been to Lancashire twice in the last 3 weeks. So, it's that. Enjoy yourselves, enjoy the challenge, and get after it.
Well, the very, very best of luck.
Thank you.
Right, the message quite clear there. Go and enjoy yourselves.
What better stage to go and showcase your talent? Semi-final, up for grabs, and Parley mentioned there. Let's just go do it now with the underdogs, and I think that might work in our favour. Let's go to Warrington tomorrow night and put on a performance.
Quick word on your fitness. How are you getting on?
It's going great. Couldn't be happier. I think I'm just over 8 months now. All along we said it was a 9-month injury. I tried getting there as I do. I'll do it in 6, but no, look, it's been great. It's been tough at times, obviously, but couldn't be happier. And joined in today with the 3-on-2s with the boys, so I'm slowly getting there.
You still got it.
Right, Lewis, very, very quickly, we're running out of time, but come on, what we're saying on there?
Well,
over an Avashev.
I think what we're learning is that it's wide open. There's plenty of people going in all 5 directions. Ross says that he thinks Friday night will be a tough game and he's back in Salford. Barry says that it's Wigan to win by 10. Plenty of love for Cass and Warrington as well, and that's an interesting game because neither of them have been spectacular in their form, but we both know they're good enough to do it. And you throw Saints into the mix, who've been so good all year, and you can absolutely see why fans aren't 100% certain who's going to do it this year. There's certainly not one runaway, winner in this.
Good. Right. Cheers, Lewis. Thanks to everyone who's sent a comment in. Sorry we've not been able to read them all out. Right. Very quickly, Scully. First of all, Warrington or Cass?
I'm going to go for Warrington, a change in performance.
Upset Luke. Okay. Friday night, Wigan, Salford?
I'm going to go for Wigan, but I think it'll be close.
And then who's going to win the trophy?
Saints can't get that
What a stupid question. We've not won it since 2014. It'd be nice, wouldn't it?
No, yeah, and I'm going to go for a repeat of that as well. Saints-Wigan final. Saints to take it.
Shock.
Right. Cass fans watching this, obviously you've been with them all week.
Yeah.
What you're saying is anything could happen tomorrow night.
Yeah, we're ready. That's all I can say. It's a bit of a bonus. We're there. We're ready. We need a good performance. It's going to be, as I mentioned, the first 20 minutes is going to be vital. Paul McShane man at match for me, and we're going to the next stage.
And without picking Cass, who do you fancy of the other 4 to win it?
I've said Wigan a few weeks back. I just thought Wigan's form, Zach Hardacre playing well, getting back to his best. I had a sneaky feeling Wigan were going to come good, so they'd be me not the dark horses because they're fancied, but they'd be me second team.
Well, I know you'll be cheering on the lads tomorrow night, so good luck tomorrow night with Halliwell Johns. Gents, thanks for coming in. You lot, thanks for watching as well. Enjoy the playoffs. It really has been a fantastic season so far. Enjoy these last games.
Truman gets it away to Aston. Aston then finds Matautia, pace from Matautia, and here is Minikin. He's got that ball down. Ben Jones-Bishop wants it kicked wide. It's coming that way. He's called for this. Ben Jones-Bishop's called for this. Ben's come back. It's a try for Arona. Taking the line on, he's poked his nose through as well. That's he's got Regan Grace. Regan Grace will score in the corner for St Helens. Regan Grace for the corner. It's a hat-trick for Regan Grace of St Helens.
Put that kick. Oh! Play on the ball. They play on with Thompson, and Thompson going for the line. Luke Thompson with the try.
There we go, shot. Jake Mamo spreading the ball.
Mamo from the restart. Jake Mamo has turned this game around. Here is Wormsley for the line, and Wormsley settles this one. Williamsley, Hardacre over the top, and Devin French will get his first try. There could be more points on here because Williams has made the break, and French could have a second. Oh no, he won't. Williams will have his first. Lollahea lobs the kick up into the air, and Lynham has lost it. Lynham's lost it. Sio's got it. Goodwin to Lynham. Lynham little chip kick ahead, and Sio is in a foot race and heading for a hat-trick. Ken Sio is going to get 3. 2 last time out, 3 this week. Ken Sio for the Salford Red Devils.